Hello everyone and welcome to the Folktales and Stories collection release video hop and giveaway. So here's a peek at the project we're going to work with today. So I'm using a few things. I'm using the Floral Sprig, which is from this release. I'm using the Floral Sprig stamp set, which is older, the Botanical Bookmark Die Set, and Geometric Botany. So we're going to start with our large geometric botany. We're going to create some interest on our bookmark. So I had a piece of extra cardstock and I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. No, it wasn't. So I went through all of my white extras, got to use those extras, and picked out a few. So hopefully that's an idea for you as well. So I was making sure, kind of planning out where I was going to put a sentiment, where I was going to put the image, and I decided I didn't know. So I started with my limestone ink on the Geometric Botany, and I decided to do my bookmark backgrounds first. So I'm going to show you here. So it's just delicate and just a little interest. So originally I stamped, as you saw, vertically. I'm going to go diagonally because I noticed that I could. So this will be our front panel because the whole thing gets covered. And I put some copy paper so I wouldn't get my hands covered in ink, as is likely. So there you go. See, I got a larger portion of that. So that will be the front of our bookmark. And the one that didn't go all the way because I did it vertically will be our back. Now we're going to take the die from the Floral Sprig Stamp and Die Set, which that's older from a previous release. I'm going to die cut that from a piece of cardstock. And then we're going to remove the tape, the masking tape, and we're going to put it on the back because we're going to ink blend onto this die cut. I find it's easier to have that road map when you're doing this. So we're going to use the Pocketful of Sunshine, and we're going to use some from Nature's Wonders. I'm actually going to go back and pick another from Nature's Wonders. Oh, we had a little furry visitor there for a second. So for my stem, originally, this is Stencil 2. I'm pointing out this is Stencil 2. Originally, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go with marshland. And then I'm like, oh no, this is the stem. So this is when I go back. I grab the mangrove root and my mini blending tools, and I'm going in and putting it nice and dark. I wanted super dark for that stem because I knew it would be against that yellow. And I'm showing you here, when I clean off my stencil, I just kind of push the color into where I've just stenciled, so it gives extra color as opposed to wasting it. Now I'm going in and I'm coming in from the base of the leaf so that if it's darker there, it's okay. And it creates a little dimension just by ink blending. I'm not doing anything special, but you can see the color variation I get doing it that way. Now we're coming in with Sea Forest, and I'm putting it on kind of blotchy and chunky, and I love how it came out. I love that kind of blotchy look for this because I didn't blend it perfectly. You can blend it perfectly, but I wanted that dimension in there. Now I just showed you we're moving to Stencil 1. We're going to use Citrus Burst for the first color there. There are 3. And the next one, we're going to go to Honey Drizzle. I just love this color combo. I've become obsessed with it. I know you guys are probably like, oh no, she's using yellow again, but I've fallen in love. And this stencil is really easy to line up. I do recommend, so this final one is going to be the maple yellow. I do highly recommend die cutting this first if you want to do the no line stencil look, because it gives you a place to put your stencil so you know where to line it up. And I like to start with the leaves first and then put the florals in. So, but it's totally a preference thing. Whichever way you go is totally wonderful. So I'm lining up my bookmark die, and I have my metal shim going through my adorable mini blossom. And so I've got my first bookmark. That will be the front one because that was the one that I got the full coverage on. This one I'm kind of lining up different because I didn't get that full coverage because I went vertical. So definitely if you repeat this project, I would go diagonal so that you get full coverage. But I'm okay with on the back there being that little gap at the top. And then I just lined it up a little crooked, so I had to send it through one more time. So there's the bookmark. And now I'm planning on my sentiment, and I'm thinking, what would I like to see when I open this? Because this bookmark is for me. I have a lot of books. So I have a lot of bookmarks, and a lot of times I have to reference things and flip back and forth. So it's nice to have bookmarks like this to not have to struggle to where my pages are. So I'm using obsidian with the Never Give Up, which is always good when you're studying. It gives you that oomph to keep going on. I'm using some glue, some liquid glue, so I have a minute to kind of shimmy that together, making sure that is perfect. I dug through some of my seam binding that I get at like yard sales and stuff, and I found this yellow that seemed to work. So I put it through and looped it through, tied a knot, and then I'm going to tie another knot to make sure it's super secure on the top there. Now we're going to put dimension. I went back and forth on this, but these are thin foam squares, so there's really not a lot of bulk, but I like that extra dimension. You could get the same effect by pulling some white cardstock from your stash. And we had a visitor. Emery was on the scene today to help. So just showing you in the book, it works wonderful. I hope this inspires you to take some of the products from this wonderful release and create a project. Until next time, stay safe and happy crafting.